Hi, welcome to Pleasure Sports. Today we're going to take a look at Billabong's new SG5 654mm wetsuit for men. This is a chest entry wetsuit, so you enter through the chest, and it's also a hooded wetsuit, so it comes with a hooded wetsuit and a visor built onto the actual wetsuit. Some of the things we can take a look at with the construction of this wetsuit, what we're looking at first of all is one of the top rated wetsuits on the market for cold water. This wetsuit is a sealed seam wetsuit. This seam has actually been glued together and then blind stitched and then welded. So you've got a watertight seal and you've also got extra durability along the seams. A couple things we can take a look at. I'm going to draw your attention to this zip entry. What this is a new design that's been re-engineered by Billabong. And what it is you open the zipper from the opposite direction, it unclips, and you actually enter the wetsuit through the chest. A couple features I want to show you as we're going into the wetsuit through the chest is you have a cinch here which goes around the shoulder, and so you can actually tighten this cinch once it's zipped to actually prevent water from coming in and flushing. This wetsuit actually is one of the driest entry chest zip wetsuits on the market, and we'll take a look at it in a second and show you why. So we're going to go ahead and show you how to get into this wetsuit. You take the hanger off the wetsuit and you open up to the shoulder area, and what we'll do, as we can see here, we've got a cross X on the top. You just go ahead and you put your arms in to the armpits of the wetsuit and you flip it inside out like that, and now you've got almost to the mid-chest open for you to be able to put your legs into the wetsuit like a pair of pants that have a very high waist, and then you can put one arm in at a time. On the interior of the chest zip here, we have an extra piece of fabric here, this high entry, and that actually has one of the driest entry systems because the neoprene goes so high up. It actually helps if water were to penetrate the zipper that it drains out through this little tiny micro pinhole here. So it keeps the chest nice and warm and toasty. A couple other features we're going to take a look at on the exterior of the wetsuit are down here by the knees. Let me just put this back together here. If you look here at the knees of the wetsuit, you've got an anti-abrasion material on the knees, and you've also got a suit that's been anatomically cut. So an anatomically cut suit already comes in the shape of our bodies, and what they actually do is it actually prevents water from pooling. So if you look here behind the knee panel, it's got a nice contour, and it's got pre-bent slashes so that you can move easily in the wetsuit. And when a wetsuit fits this snug, extra water doesn't pool in the wetsuit, so you don't get cold, and it doesn't take your body more energy to keep the lining of water inside the wetsuit nice and toasty. On the front of this wetsuit, we actually have a mesh skin panel, and this mesh skin panel actually wicks away water, and it's also wind resistant. So I'm going to go ahead and zip this back up so I can show you the back of the wetsuit. On the back of the wetsuit, you've also got these panels that are wind resistant and water repellent, except this is an extra feature. This is the solar mesh panel that's proprietary to Billabong, and this actually acts like a heat retaining fabric throughout the suit. So once this heats up, it stays hot, and it actually is activated by the sun, and that's why they call these solar panels. And what's also new about this wetsuit is these side panels that run around the side, and they're actually to protect your kidneys and keep your kidneys nice and warm as well. So that's new, and that's also specific to these higher end wetsuits that you get these additional features. You'll notice that there's no seams along the butt, so that way you can straddle a board or whatever it is. You can even be on a jet ski with this wetsuit and not put pressure on a seam that would split. You've got no seams in the groin area, allows you for maximum stretch. Again, you've got that welded seam. You have no seams underneath the arm gussets, again, to maximize the stretch of the material. This particular wetsuit, and what we can do is we can kind of zoom into this lower back area. This wetsuit's actually made of ZG 400 Superflex neoprene throughout the entire suit, and it's one of the most stretchy materials on the market today. And a type of material like this this again being a chest entry, if you look at the back, you have no zipper, so you actually get to maximize the stretch along the spine. And again, we can just take a look at how stretchy, how much give we get in this wetsuit. And we're looking at 6mm neoprene here. This suit's made of 6mm, 5mm, and 4mm neoprene in the arms. So again, you maximize the stretch by using the thinner materials out in the areas that have to have more movement, like in the arms. Last thing we're going to take a look at is the internal portion of the wetsuit. It's just as impressive as the external. Along the chin of the hood, interior hood, you have a nice glide skin material, so it actually makes a seal with your chin and your neck so water doesn't flood into the suit. That's really smart. You'll see the internal weld along all the seams, not only externally on the wetsuit, but internally on the wetsuit. So you have a double weld. You've got taped seams. You've got on the wrist, you've got extra pieces of neoprene stripping to help keep the wetsuit in place on your wrist, as well as from the seal blowing out. So it's a beautiful wetsuit. It has a furnace lining on the interior. This material wicks away water, as also again on the other side is that SG5 solar panel that also heats up the wetsuit. So if I miss any features on this wetsuit, you can learn more about the Billabong SG5 6x4mm wetsuit on pleasuresports.com.